All right. Good evening, everyone. Welcome, everybody. How you guys doing? I see people joining already. Exciting. This is good. Dami Bakare says we're live and waiting. Welcome, Dami. How you doing? How you doing? Many more people joining. I see you guys. All right. So if you're joining, you've joined us already. My name is Dr. Shagun Manuel, and we are live on Winning with Customer Service. I have a fantastic guest with me tonight, and you're going to see that and you hear that from what she's going to be sharing with us tonight. So, what I want you to do first is if you have joined, please do share the stream to everyone you know. Let them know that we are live tonight. And then if you're here, put a comment in the comment section. Let me see you. I want to bring you up. I want to bring you up and let's know that you're here, right? I want to bring you up. Let's know. So share it. Let everybody know that we are live. I'm going to do that now. I'm going to let my people know that we are live. Let's go. We are live. Everybody, we are live. Share the stream. Right. Share it with everybody you know. Let them know that we are live and we're ready to go. Right. My guest is ready. She's in the green room, ready already, with so much information that she will be sharing tonight. Okay. We're waiting for you to join us here so we can go ahead tonight with our session. All right. Welcome, everybody. Yes, I see somebody else is here. Aboyowa Gundikbe, one of our regulars, right? She says, I'm here. Fantastic. Aboyowa, welcome. All right, so go share the stream with everybody. If you're here already, I see some more people. Let me also know where you're joining from. I know we are live on Facebook, we're live on YouTube, we are also live on Instagram. Let me check that we're good there. Right, we're live on Instagram. Yes, I see Toby Crusher Fumigation. You're there. Fantastic. Welcome. I also see Honia Cake Plus. Welcome. Thank you for joining. So everybody that has joined, please do share, right? Let's know that you're here. Share it with your contact. Let everybody know that we are here for. I don't know what is happening, but because of the rain today in my city is kind of cracking, right? But even with that, I'm ready and I'm good to go. So I want to see more people that are joining. Yes. I see more people. Julia Gboro is in Gailey. Yes. She says, we're live, we're here. Fantastic. Welcome, Julie. So I want everybody that is joining, please do share the stream with everyone. I have someone that is fantastic. I've known her for a little while, and she's been this champion of customer service and everything good about it, right? Princesses, good evening, coach. Welcome. Thank you all for joining. Everybody joining, please do share the stream with everyone. Let everyone know that my guest today, if we're going to pay monies to have her here, nothing less than 50K. By the way, she's the GM of Safari Groups. Safari Group of companies, a company that encompasses not just pharmaceuticals, they're also into hospitality, they're also into retail. So if you've heard of Safari Pharmacy, Safari Supermarket, Safari Water, the Hive, name it, this lady is the GM of that huge conglomerate, and we're having her here to speak with us tonight. I was saying earlier that if we're going to put a price to getting her here, it will be in hundreds of thousands, right? But she's joining us absolutely free right here. Good evening, Lucky Salome, live from Port Harcourt, Nigeria. Fantastic. Thank you for joining. Welcome. So we have people from Port Harcourt, Lagos, Warri, and I know that we're going to have more people join. Please, everyone joining now, please share. Share. My guest is already seated in the studio. Pharmacist Adenike Bakare is the one we are having tonight, and I'm excited to have her here. Good evening from Lagos, Dimeji Abodunrin. Welcome. Thank you for joining. Please do share this thing with everyone. All right, I'm going to bring my guest tonight to the screen, and ladies and gentlemen, okay, let me welcome some more people before I bring my guest. She's ready anyway. Madam Chi from Lagos. Fantastic, Madam Chi. Welcome. Thank you for joining. joining. Please do share the stream with your contact. Let me see if there are more people on Instagram. Yes, I see my Deco Guru. Welcome. Taiwo Showore. Welcome. Priska Alodia from Vita Fruite. I see you there on Instagram. I see you guys, everyone. Welcome. Welcome. Thank you for joining in and for joining us in this. Oh, fantastic. Our guest from 2 weeks ago, Ejirogene Udu from Premium Power, all the way in Lagos, EU Premium Power. She's here, one of the fastest growing companies around in Lagos is here with us right now. Ejirogene, welcome, welcome. My guest, I said, is with us. Lost her a bit, but she's back right now. I'm going to be bringing her online. Please let's welcome my guest, pharmacist Adenike Bakare. Olanike, sorry, pardon me, Olanike Bakare. Nike, how are you, ma'am?
I'm very well, thank you. Good afternoon, good day from wherever you're watching.
Thank you for joining us tonight and thank you for giving us your time. We have a lot of people here. Like I was introducing earlier on, people from Lagos, from Abuja, from Port Harcourt, from Wari. And so we have people across Nigeria. And by the way, this we're going to be airing over and over again. So more and more people will be watching. All right. Pharmacist Olanike, let my audience meet you. I like for you to introduce yourself so it's the people get to hear what you want them to actually hear.
Um, my name is Olanike Bakare. I'm a pharmacist. I mean, once a pharmacist, always a pharmacist. So I'm a pharmacist, and I have been for quite a number of years now. And I've had the privilege of working in different sectors, medical, non-medical, pharmaceutical, non-pharmaceutical. I've been through the pharmaceutical industry, the hospital space, the retail space, hospitality, manufacturing, and I mean, basically, I've been in the administrative space for quite a while. I'll say a little over a decade. So it's been an interesting journey, and this is why it's very wonderful for what Mr. Sheguman is doing because um, I've come to understand when throughout my journey that customer service is non-negotiable. So thank you for having me.
Fantastic. Welcome, welcome. So for those that are just joining us, I do not know Nike. Nike is a trained pharmacist. Even like she said that she has moved through the ranks and gone into more of management and has managed across most sectors. Nike, what is the one thing that has stood out for you that in your opinion in the few years you've been in the game, what is that one thing that has made businesses succeed?
Of course, which is what I said in my introductory speech. I think that businesses that have not come to understand this critical aspect, I don't think they're ready to thrive in this kind of space where there's so much competition in this landscape. Market is stiff. There are millions of people doing exactly what you're doing. Nothing is different. And people have come to realize and understand the power. I have come to understand and realize over a decade of business management that the differentiator, right? There's just one. There is just one critical differentiator in businesses, and that is the offering of excellent customer service. It's unbeatable.
It's a no-brainer, right?
No
That customer
brainer.
service will stand you out.
Yes.
All right. So in our climb, we had Zion Shobuge last week with us, and
Yeah.
he's presently based in the UK, and we were looking at comparing customer service in other climes and customer service in our climb. What, in your opinion, I know you are a well-traveled person, with all your experience, what in your opinion is the differentiating factor? Because the people naturally say that if you go to other clients, people know what to do around customer service. Their service is it is in our climb here that we really do not know what to do. Is that opinion correct? If it is not correct, or if it is correct, what do you think is the differentiating factor between customer service in other climes and our climb here?
Okay, well, I would say that our country is still in the maybe growth phase. I will say growth phase. We're growing, and I can't put a percentage to it because it's not hard and fast. Some businesses, I mean, shout out to Safari. Some businesses have understood and mastered the art of customer service, right? And they have understood the that ingredient and are offering excellent customer service. They've understood that that's the only way to go. But we still have a host of businesses here in Nigeria that have not even begun to offer the basics of that kind of service. And unfortunately, that that group is quite large. So, and it's quite unfortunate because it's almost impossible to thrive in this day and age. People are educated, people are well traveled, people are looking for what they experienced elsewhere. People want to come into your space and feel comfortable. You know what I'm saying? Like people will come, permit me to use where I work, for example. People will come to Safari and say, "Oh, when I go to this country, I have the same level of, I have the same feeling, I have some experience." And they are like, "Oh, it's surprising that I'm in Nigeria." That's the kind of service that people are looking for. And most businesses, people most time go into businesses to try to fill a gap that they are looking for. You
Sure.
see maybe clotheslines of plus size, or a kind of size that they 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 have been looking for years, and they will, because of that, go into that business line just to
Hmm.
feel that thing that they are looking for. So most businesses will say, I don't want that. I went there. I like to go to the lounge. I like to do this. But every time I go to this particular place, I have this problem. Maybe, oh, it's too noisy. The customers are, or the staff are, and they create a business for themselves with the exact ingredients of what they missed outside. So it is something that it's a key, that you would have the same business, 50 of you on one line, and you will see that just
Hmm.
one store does not have parking space. And then we're limited, and we're thinking that, oh, maybe it's jazz, maybe it's something. It is just customer service.
Yes.
It's not, there's nothing, there's no juju there. It is just customer service. So we have to get to a place, a point, where we understand the power in this and tap into it. And you will be amazed at the growth that the business will experience. So,
Fantastic. I just heard from you now that customer service is the best jazz you can use on your customers. So it will look like jazz if you are doing your customer service correctly. But let's move on.
do that.
You mentioned about where you work. So um, and I would like to ask, with the experience of for those of us who don't know, I mentioned earlier that she's the GM at Safari Groups, that encompasses a whole lot. And for those of us in the Delta area, you would have heard a lot about Safari, because they have spreading very fast around here. So my guest is paused, but I'm sure she will come back. Um, she's paused. I guess she'll be back. But while we're trying to get her back, if you have questions for my guest, please do ensure you put it in the comment section, and we'll be able to take those questions as we go along, right? So please, if you have questions for my guests, put it in the comments. I will take it up here so that my guests can answer. But like she said, customer service is like jazz, right? If you do it very well, it will seem like you have something that everybody else doesn't have. Welcome back, Nika.
Thank
So
you.
I was continuing and saying that customer service is like jazz. If you do it very well, people will think you are doing something that is extraordinary. But tell us,
True
what are
that.
some of the things that your brand that you represent has done, that is making her, we'll give it to them that they are one of the leading lights in customer service in this area. So what are some of those little tips that you think that you guys are doing that is making it, stand out, that other businesses and business owners that are here can learn from?
Okay, so I think first off, it's important that there's ongoing training, which is it is the niche that you have carved out for yourself, and it's something that we are grateful for because people need to understand the importance of constant training. It's not a one-off thing. It's not something that you do at the beginning of an onboarding. It's not an orientation process, and it's not something that you. It's not a department. It is something that has to permeate the entire business, the entire organization. And some people would say, oh, let's look at the front end, let's look at the customer meeting people. It's the entire team. So I would say, first of all, the company that I represent, Safari Group, I think the most important thing is investing in staff training and development. There's a constant, ongoing training, coaching to, the entire team, with hands-on experience, with practical examples, so there's that constant thing that I think that is important, that it's obtainable and it's something that should be emulated. Um, you also need to leverage your technology, software. Is
Mm,
most businesses are still using A4 paper to track their customers and get their numbers down, and then when the customer forgets something, they can't find the piece of paper where the customer's phone number is. And so leverage on softwares that you can help to manage your customers data. You can reach out to customers when you have events, promo, and all of that. You can thank your customers for shopping with you. So I'll say leverage on infrastructure, leverage on technology. I would say also during the course of the recruitment, because it's also very important thing about the people that you choose to be at the front end. They have to be staff that are empathic. Now, people would say, "Oh, I will train them." There's some things that are natural to you. There's some things that you may not be able to, remove. So I would say have a baseline of people that come into your firm, as empathic staff, people that can easily put themselves in the customer's shoes. They are able to understand, to listen attentively, effectively. They're able to resolve conflicts because they put themselves in the customer's shoes. So I would say, even at the point of recruiting, ask practical questions. That's something that we do a lot. We literally do, it's like drama. What would you do if this happens? Right at the point of the interview, not at the training section. At the point of the interview, have a baseline knowledge of how that staff will react in the weirdest instances. And that will give you an idea of where to place that particular staff. We profile staff a lot. Where to place you. It's okay for you not to have it in inherent. You can be placed somewhere else, and where we can harness the skills you have in that particular thing. But for customer service, for customer facing staff, it's a no-brainer. You have to have some level of empathy, and so that when we're training you, you are receptive to the training, and then the training can germinate and grow seed that you can be able to materialize what we have trained you on. So I would say, even from the point of recruiting, um, I would say standardized service also is what Safari thrives at. Not that you have a couple of businesses and then maybe you have a bakery and then the people there are very nice and then you have a barbering salon, those ones are nasty, and then you have a car wash there. No, no, no. You have to standardize the service that you're offering. You know, if your brand is known for excellent customer service, it has to cut across the all the access points, all the service offering points that you're rendering. So I would say standardized delivery. I would say also we have a habit of constantly evaluating the performance. How are we doing in the customer service space? Are they complaining? Some businesses shut down complaints. They don't want to hear what you have to say because they're afraid of
Yeah, true,
negative feedback.
true.
They don't want to feel bad because and we've had a couple of those cases where someone will call you and say, "Oh, I want to supply your company. Could you try these things for me? Could you taste them? Could you have a few samples?" And we give critical, truthful feedback. Your samples need a bit of this and that, and they get very upset. And when you're like, you are the one that said I should try it and give you feedback. So some companies for feedback. They don't want to. They feel they've invested so much in the company, and negative
Mm,
feedback will hurt them. So some people will not, but we thrive at receiving feedback. In fact, it's exciting. And the business owner would say, I want the top manager's numbers on the flimsiest things, on the nylons, so that you hear firsthand the issues your customers are having. Because if your
mm.
feedback line, your customer line is still the front end staff that attended to them, they will literally douse the issue. You will never get to hear, you'll never be able to resolve them, you'll never be able to get better. But when the top management are the one receiving the complaint, receiving the feedback, you're able to go back to your drawing table and try to make things right. So I would say measuring and evaluating performance. How are we doing? Share very quick questionnaires to your customers. How do you feel about this? We will put very big phone numbers. If you feel some sort of way, please call this number. Please give us feedback. So we hunt for feedback. We
For
hunt
feedback, yes.
for comments. We want to know how we are doing, and we are excited when we have and when we have one bad feedback. Because it's not something that we're used to. Shout out to Safari also. It's not what we're used to. So the way it is attacked is aggressive. Like what? And everybody's trying to ensure that it never happened because we are not angry at the feedback. We are excited. It's an opportunity for you to grow when you get those kind of feedbacks. So in that way, the customers are seeing that when there's a problem, they see the aggression in which you attack it, and then you assure them. And when they come back, they're so happy with the way you handle the feedback and the fact that they didn't experience it. You build your loyalty, you build your trust. So that's something that is something that we practice and then we do. And so um, top of my head, I think that's well. Basically, I would say evaluate performance. Train staff, recruit the best hands, encourage feedback, and all of that. Yes, I'm sure there's so much more, but just top of my
Yes.
head, that's what I can remember.
Thank, yeah. And these four you have mentioned are very key. Feedback, they say, is breakfast for champions. And anyone who uses feedback very well, feedback can be a harbinger to new business ideas. And that's what you guys do at Safari. But there's a question I want to talk, a point you made I want to talk about, and there's a comment on that on Instagram. Hillary says, but some staff answers well during interview, but in reality, they don't perform well. So I'm going to come back to the point you made on staffing. Anybody who owns a business that needs to employ one person today knows that one of the major challenges of doing business, I don't know if it's just Nigeria, is the challenge of staffing,
It's not just
right?
Nigeria. Yeah.
Oh, it's everywhere, right? You will not have the right one, you will not have the competent one. People complain a lot in Nigeria that there are no jobs, but you, who's an employer, knows that you have jobs, but you don't have enough people that are qualified and are ready to do that work. What do we need to do to get? Because you mentioned when you were answering the last question that if you have people and you screen them and you see that this person is not fit for being in a front service role, will you look for something else for them to do? What are those characteristics we need to build, to be better customer service delivery staff?
I think to address the comment, I would say yes. There are ways you can, there are red flags that you will see, and you will realize that as a business owner, as a recruiter, when a staff exhibits a behavior along the line, you will almost know that you saw that red flag. You just chose to say, "Oh, I will find a way around it." You understand? Because I will speak from experience, because I mean I've been in the recruiting phase for quite a number of years, and there are certain metrics that you use to ensure that emotional intelligence, you know when you're at your behavioral interviews, you are asking scenario based questions. What would you do if it's not what they would see on Google or what they will see on AI? You're using practical interviews. Examples: what would you do if this happens? The person will think, the person would even sometimes give you the look.
Mm,
You will see a look, you will see the thought process, you will see the gesticulations, you will see the way they address you, but when you give what would you do, behavioral interviews, you test emotional intelligence. You will say, oh, so if you were to steal, what would, like, spur of the moment, you would stammer out some red flags, role playing scenarios, also reference checks. We'll call your background checks, your past employer. How is this person in the front end, customer service, background checks, So if you go through those four checks, it will be very difficult for your staff to, sleep through these checks. And if that happens, it will be 1 out of 10 of them. It won't be 7 out of your 10 staff. You will still eventually find, more than half of them, skidding through your.
all right. So we need a lot of emotional intelligence and a third eye, right, to be able to signal those red flags
Red
in,
flags, yes.
sifting through the
Recruitment
right
system.
staff that you need to work for you. Yes, because training in customer service, one of the greatest feedback that we get mostly is people complain about this my staff. I trained them. I've
Mhm.
done everything. This one, somebody recommended him to me. This one, I'm helping him because he needs to do. But I'm trying to put them in that space. I'm trying to make them. They are not still doing it. So these things that you mentioned can actually really help. So because you've been in the, but by the way, if you have questions for Madam Nike, please put them in the comments, right? Put them in the comments. I'm going to be taking them up on the screen for her to see so she can answer. All right. If you have question, comments, and anything that you would like to ask her, please let's have it in the comment section. By the way, if you are just joining, you can still share the stream to as many people to still join us tonight. So, Madam Nike, my next question will be on looking at the medical field in Nigeria, because you've played around that space. By the way, I saw Western Hospital around just now. Yeah, the Western Hospital joined Caring since 1978. They are a sister company to Safari, where Madam Nika is GM. And so I'm going to do a compare and contrast, and I want you, Madam Nika, to look at what do you think, because one of the statistics was done by the West African Association of Customer Service Professionals that I belong to as a member. In fact, I was named their top trainer in 2022. We did a survey, and in that survey, the sector that has the worst customer service delivery in Nigeria is the medical sector, right? Did you get me?
I did.
Yeah. Okay. So the medical sector was number one of worst customer service delivery in Nigeria. You are in the private space and in the medical sector. From all the comments we're getting and everything we're seeing, you guys are doing very well, right? What do you think is not being done in the public space, public medical sector? I mean, because if you go to the general hospitals, that's one of the worst things, that your sickness might not be as bad as the services that you will get from the government hospitals, right? what do you think that we need to do to be able to help? What do these hospitals need to do? What do the government need to do? What those in charge need to do to be able to, tweak the customer service in the medical sector? Knowing that, especially in the medical sector, your customers are people who are helpless mostly, right? What do we need to do differently in the medical sector?
Okay, well, I will say that yes, it's quite unfortunate. Yeah, the survey had some level of truth in it. It's quite unfortunate, and I mean, as Nigerians, each and every one of us will have experienced, that at some point in our lives, So the truth is that the public private settings are jam packed. There is so much pressure. There's so much pressure on the available healthcare team. You would see a hospital, right, that is designed to cater for, say, 20 people in terms of inpatient, say, bed space, visited by 2,000 customers, 2,000 patients. I mean, it's jam packed. We need, as a people, as a country, the government, we need to establish and create many more healthcare systems that will cater to the people, the population. Because guess what? The pressure is a lot. And I will say this because in the company that I work with, Safari and West End, when we are doing our customer survey, right, our performance evaluation, we pick
Yes.
the rush hour. We will do the survey at the time that we have the most customers because that is the time that the staff are pressured. That is the time that the human nature of most of the staff will come out. And that's the time that
Mm-hmm.
the training, will be tested, not when it is early in the morning. And we will see if we do a survey, right? Say the entire 24 hours, right? And you have one customer complaining about someone's attitude, bet it with me, it is during the rush hour. So, what that tells you is that the rush in these healthcare places is a very huge factor, that affects the level of care, the level of service rendered. Not to excuse, bad behaved staff, but I'm just trying to
Mm-hmm.
express the fact that the problem at hand, the source, is that there is so much burden and pressure
Pressure.
on the available healthcare systems and people. As I just said, in Zavari, when we have one out of how many people and we have a bad feedback, it is during the heat of the moment. We call it rush hour. What that tells you is that almost anybody will break under intense pressure. As a
Pressure.
human being,
Yes.
as a man, head of the family, you have 12 children, you have two wives, you have two side chicks, you have all that. Everybody wants money. There's even the best of men. One day you will scream, and you are normally a
Yes,
very
sir.
soft person. One day you will scream. So, not to excuse, I would just say that a lot needs, which is what private sector like ours are doing. We're trying to join forces with the government to ensure that we take some burden off the
Of
government establishment. For example, our national centers in Safari, we have about 7 clinics. We can have one, but we have seven. Why? Because we're trying to target the areas because they are populated health centers that are catering to babies. You will see 1,000 babies come to one small health center. Even if the nurse is nice from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m., by 3 p.m. when the sun is out, right? And the person is the
she would
is
have lost her niceness. The sun would
they
have
are
melted her
smelly people.
niceness.
The sun, the everything would have. So if you look at it, if the survey that you did, right, was time based and time conscious, I would even encourage the survey done in different times. You would experience that there is better service delivery in the morning.
In the
I'm not
mornings.
saying excellent, I'm just saying better comparatively than in the hot afternoon when the crowd is immense. So yes, a lot of work is to be done with the people. I'm just trying to establish that there is a source that we need to. And it's not going to get better, unfortunately, because the people that are leaving the country are more than people that are graduating from universities, you know. So we are having fewer and fewer people to cater to the population that is not decreasing. If you should check how many people
Yes.
gave birth this minute life now, you will be amazed. And who are the people that will cater to them in the health sectors? The few people that have not left the country.
Mm.
It's a problem. So instead of trying to, throw stones and do this, I think that we need to, as a government, look into it and establish more places. So yes, that aside. Now to the problem. Yes, can it be better? Yes, it can be better. You know, as I said, we can have one center, we have seven. We can diversify, we can ensure that we have, many more places at critical parts of the state or the city to cater to, so that people can you can have not that crowded space, and also invest in training. It's not a one-off thing. It's not what you train a
Yes.
staff at the beginning and then the staff is already 10 years in your company, and you are hoping and praying to God that the staff will remember what you told them 10 years ago about how to attend to a staff. It's not possible. So it's an ongoing thing, you know. And I believe that if these sessions are done religiously, and it can be sustainable, I believe that there will be some level of changes in these health sectors.
Fantastic, fantastic. I like how you defended your consistency very well. All right, so thank you so much. I have other questions, but let me allow the viewers have their questions. So there are a few questions on the screen, and I would like to add them so that you can see. Oba Okay says, in a scenario, seems like we lost Nika there. Um, we kind of lost Nika a bit there. I'm sure she's having network. Maybe she's getting a call. So let me take her out so she can join back. Nika, if you can hear me, you might need to join back again. All right. So your question, in a scenario where you put more effort in getting back feedback rather from the client, but they don't give response to it, what should one do? All right. Once Nika gets back, I'm going to be putting that question to her, so she can answer you. Oba Okay. I think I have about three questions. Um, I have this. I have one from Offray. Okay, so Nika is back. I'll be bringing her back on now. Okay, Nika, welcome back.
Thank
So
you.
we understand the Nigerian situation, right? Uh, there's a question
It's
for
more of a
you.
challenge of customer service.
There's a question for you here on the screen. It says, in a scenario where you put more effort in getting feedback from the client, but they don't respond to it, what should you do?
I think there's already a problem there in that business and customer relationship. If you ask feedback and you don't get it, it means that there's a problem. So I will believe that the management of that body of that business has to go back to the drawing table, because in place in a relationship, even if it's not business relationship, lovers, anyhow, if there is no communication, that relationship is heading for the rocks. So when your
Mhm.
customers refuse to speak to you, there is a problem that needs to be settled. So it means that the customer service delivery has killing. If they were happy with you, if they trust your brand and you ask for feedback, they should be happy to give you both bad or good.
Good. Fantastic. That answers it succinctly. All right, let me go to the next one. And it's from Offray. Offray says, family care, how do you handle a situation where you think the feedback or complaint from the customer is frivolous? For example, they just start complaining about that particular girl at the front desk, and you know that that's one of your best staff. The customer just starts complaining for whatever reason. What should you do? reason.
Okay, well, that's actually very interesting
What
because, I
do
mean,
you
it happens a lot. It's
how do you handle that?
all right. Can you hear me?
I cannot seem to see Madam Nike,
Can you
but
hear me?
I'm sure. Okay, I think
Um,
her stuff is so I might need to kick her out so that she comes back in. Okay, once she comes back, we'll be able to take the final few questions. Can you hear me? Somebody says you can hear Madam Nike. Can you guys hear me? I'm sure you can still hear me. Can you guys hear me?
yes, I can.
Nike,
I
can
can
you hear
hear.
me?
Yes, I
Okay,
can.
says yes, we can. All right, fantastic. So let's go to off race question right now.
Yes, yeah, I got that.
Off race says, how do you handle the situation if feedback is frivolous? Okay, so let's go.
Okay, so that's very interesting because it happens. It happens a lot of times, which is why it's important that you get front end customers, front end staff that are empathic, that you have screened them for the level of emotional intelligence, because when you have a complaint that is unfounded, is frivolous, the customer must not get that hint. Every feedback, every comment is handled as if it were it had the magnitude, it had the potential of breaking the business. Sorry, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Can you hear
Okay,
me?
all right. So every feedback has to be handled as if it has the same magnitude of breaking the brand. So the customer should not have that hint that he or she is complaining about a baseless thing. It should be matched with enthusiastic response. The staff that should handle it should be empathic, understand, and the customer has to feel heard. The customer has to have a level of assurance that that issue to you is as important as it is to them. The fact that it's baseless and frivolous has to die in you. They have to feel that it is as important as it is to them to you. And they have to feel that you are addressing it with a good sense of urgency, knowing full well as if it had a grievous right. So the key thing is your customer should not have that that feeling that the complaint is frivolous or does not carry water. No, it would actually infuriate them the more.
Even when it is. Did you get that? I said even when the complaint is frivolous, the customer should not get the feeling that it is from you.
Yeah.
All right. So let me take the third question that we're taking tonight, and it's from Aboyewa Gunipe. She says, for a small scale business that's a shop and has a sales girl, how can we train that sales girl on good customer service?
This I don't think the size matters. If you have a business out there, if it's one shop, if it's 50,000 shops, I think, as I said earlier, that the level of service has to be consistent. It has to be standardized, and it is, if you are faithful in little, you'll be faithful in a lot. If your one sales girl and one small shop can offer excellent customer service, by the time you expand,
True.
by the time you grow, customers have already put a level of trust in your business, and they know that he did this when he had one person. So do not reduce the level of training because you are a small shop or it's one girl, train aggressively, right? Train as if you have 50 of them. That person will actually, and you as the business owner, it's important for you to understand the art of customer service. You have to be the champion of customer service. Aside your business being having a customer centric culture, the business owner has to actually be a model of customer service so that when it comes down to it, you step in, you save the day. It's your brand. Your staff should not be
True.
nicer than you. Your staff should not be more courteous than you. So you should own the game of customer service. So even if you have that one staff that messes up, the customer says the owner is not like that. This has to be an error. So it has to start
Exactly.
from you. So one shop, one sales girl should not matter. The level of experience that should be experienced from one shop should also be the same if it had a chain of businesses. So train as if you have chain of businesses.
Fantastic. And I'm available to do that training for them when they're ready, right? I volunteer, it's my calling. So I tell people when I train that how you treat what you do or what you say about your customers or what you say in front of your staff about your customers will determine how your staff will treat your customers behind you. So if you say good things about your customers, in front of your staff, they will react positively to your customers when you are not there. But if you say bad things about them in front of your staff, when you are not there, your staff will assume that, oh, this is what madam thinks about these people. They are not good people. They are just, treating us, and they will treat your customers, wrongly. So whether you just own a shop or you have a big business, you have a large number of staff, same thing. What you do is what your staff will copy and even multiply it and give to your staff. All right, we take the final question so that I let Madam go. So she's had a long day today. And this is from Adeni Bakare. I'm sure this person is related to you, right? It says, what are the feedback criteria templates and are there provisions for data privacy to protect? This is really deep. This is really deep. You want to talk about this?
Yeah, you can also.
Okay, go ahead.
So I would say before you come up, I would say that the templates are available, and which is why I said at the beginning that it's important for every business owner to take advantage of technology. Things have been simplified for us. I mean, in the stone age, to get an information, you have to pay one big consultant somewhere. But truthfully, the templates are everywhere, right? And it's important for you when you have a consultant come in and give you a template, you have to also be able to run with it. So, yes, I know that. I mean, we have Mr. Shagumano here. I know that he dishes that out on a regular, but I also understand that there are a level of things that you can get online by yourself. You can actually look at the feedback template, the questionnaires, what should I, because the truth is that if you don't understand how maybe the question about not getting feedback might be also because you're not using the right template. Because when you
Mm,
ask a customer a theoretical question, say, kindly explain to me how you feel today. Someone that came to shop with you, someone that is in a hurry to
mm.
give you theory feedback, that's a problem. That should now explain to you and say, I hereby feel. No, it has to be tick, yes, no, what they you have to help them to make it quick and short. You understand? So yeah, templates are everywhere, they are available. And of course, if you want the deep-seated one, you need to consult the people that are the owners of the game, right? But for the fundamentals, actually the surface ones, I'm sure they are available online. The question is off the, I can't see the second part of it.
Just give me a minute. Let me put it back. So I think it's back there now.
Okay, provisions for the private of when. Okay, well, I believe that all businesses should be able to have what we call the NDAs, such that your staff are able to be to be confined by these NDAs, such that they know that the data that the customer provides for you is not for personal use, for personal consumption. It's something that is only used for the benefit of the business. And there are also softwares that will not even allow you to, to copy, to forward. You can't even take a screenshot. There are softwares that are available that you can't even open up a database and you can snap. It won't let you snap because of these data privacy schemes that are out there. So yes, we might not maybe
Yeah.
be there totally, which is why I said that it's a growth phase. But there are many softwares that are available that even assist the company owners to ensure that customers' data are private. But as a business owner, create NDAs, ensure that each staff is bound by them. Let them, upon onboarding, understand the importance of the privacy, the confidentiality policies, such that no matter whatever you see on the shop floor, is on the shop floor. You cannot use an information for a private interest. So we're not there yet, but I know that it's to some level. Some organizations, they have it very handy. Where I practice. Shout out once again, Safari. The NDAs are tight, right? There is the software that will ensure that a staff does not even have access, and there are levels to the logins. What a front end staff has can see, is not what the customer care agent who has signed a deeper NDA can see. They will not have access to what everybody has. So there are levels to the logins that each staff has. So yes, it might not be everywhere, but I believe that a few businesses are already thriving in that part. And with more
And
information, more education, it can get better.
in fact, any business who wants to be practiced by global standards must have all of these things in place,
Yes.
like you guys have at Safari. All right, let's take one final question, one final one. How do you deal with entitled customers who want to be attended to speedily, ignoring others who require service? How do you balance satisfying both type of customers? I know you see them every day in your different businesses, customers who
Of
come and
course.
they want everybody to stand on their feet to make sure they're attended
Exactly. They
to.
know the boss. Exactly. They will even call your director's name. I know the boss. They will even tell you,
Yes,
he said I should come. Meanwhile,
yes, nothing like that. I'll tell you,
nothing like
I will
that,
call him. I will call him right now. I'll call him right
Exactly,
now.
exactly. I think we see that every day. They will call him by his first name, and then like you'll be shaking. I mean, it's everywhere. So what we do as a brand, right? What we do as a brand is that we have specialized trainings for team members that are once again customer facing. So you have multiple people. Some businesses would say, focus on the person in front of you. That's not our practice, because when you do that, other people feel they don't feel seen. So we say, focus on what's in front of you, but make eye contact with everybody. Let everybody that you have
Mm.
seen them. Good morning, I'll be with you shortly. Everybody see that you've seen them. It can be a gesture. It can be a you're with this person shortly. Acknowledge their presence. With the beautiful
Yes,
acknowledge their presence. Now when they get to you and then they are entitled, they want to say da, 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 you don't there's almost nothing at that point, because you can be aggressive. You are trained to ensure that each customer get the best service. You know the customer is not being sincere with I just called your MD. You know that is not true, right? Even at that, the customer should not feel some sort of way. So, as I said, training for customer facing staff is tailored to that point of service. So, in where I practice, we train you for those kinds of scenarios when you have customers that want special service, which is why we have policies against receiving tips, receiving gifts, receiving why, because so that it doesn't fuel you to want to treat one person
special
differently
people
from
in
the
a
other.
special way.
Yes, exactly. So when someone comes to you and say, "Oh, they know your boss, they're from your boss," oh, fantastic, welcome, sir, welcome, ma. I'll be with you in a minute. Guess what? You continue with that person that is in front of you, but you acknowledge what they have said. You acknowledge their feeling. As I said, empathy. You put themselves. If it's you too, I know the business owner. You grew up together with him. You were friends. He now has a business. You want the whole world to know that you people were friends, you were classmates, you were. Yes, I understand. You're welcome, sir. I will be with you shortly. So nothing
Yeah,
changes. So,
true.
and guess what? If the director wants some level of VIP treatment for anybody, you would know. You will get a call. You will expect the person. So
Fantastic. That's a good place to end in, Nika. You've touched almost every area that we need to know about, improving and growing our brands with customer service. Like you said, and I did not forget, if you get your customer service right, it will be like saying they do jazz, right? For everyone, if you get your customer service right, it will be like you have like this extra power. We've lost Nika, but no, 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 we didn't lose Nika. We've lost her on this call, right? Nika is fine. And I want to say, everyone, I hope you got value from the session tonight. If you did, I like to see the comments while we're waiting for Nika to come back so that we close properly. If you did get value tonight, please let's see it in the comment section. And also, please do share the stream to everybody that you know needs to see this. And thank you to everyone joining us from Instagram, those on Facebook, and those right here with us on YouTube. Thank you all. Um, Nick is back. Let me bring her back on. Welcome back, ma'am. I was just saying everyone should say thank you for the session, and that's a warm round of applause there from Aboyawa, from Adeni, and from Chinedu. Chinedu says, I didn't expect less from you. You did fantastically well. Awesome, awesome. Julie from Ugeli says, very interesting. Dami, there's another Bakari here. Great and insightful session. Awesome. Eloho says, thank you so much, sir. I got value. Fantastic. Oh, she's dropped off again. Okay, let me say a big thank you to everyone who joined. Andrew says it was an insightful session. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone, for joining. So I'm sure she's having network issues and dropping on and off, but I'm sure you got value. If you got value, please do ensure to um, say so to somebody that you got value and let them know. Madam Nika, thank you so much for joining. You have a final word for us before the network takes you out again. Do you have a final word? If you do,
I'll just say when you understand the power of customer service, then you are ready to, rub shoulders with business owners.
fantastic. When you understand the power of customer service, you'll be able to rub shoulders with the top rollers in the game, right? And
Exactly.
good enough, we've understood what it is today from Madanike. Madanike, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Madanike is the GM of Safari Group of Companies. If you live in the Delta area, you should know Safari Group of Companies. They are involved in a whole lot. And she has shared with us in the last 1 hour her experience working, managing customers, managing staff, and putting processes in place to ensure that your customer service is top notch. All right. I will end with the message from West End Hospital. West End Hospital, like I said, is a company to Safari, and they said Madam Nike kept it 100%. Thank you so much, ma, for coming, and do have a wonderful night. I look forward to being with you guys soon to share my own insight on what you can do on improving your services. Thank you. Have a wonderful night, everybody. Thank you all for joining. You can follow Madam Nike on Instagram. I am Olanike. Is it I'm Olanike or I am Nike Bakare?
I am Nike Bakare.
I am Nike Bakare. Follow her live on Instagram. Let her know that you are from here, right? And if anything, if you want to see how good customer service is done and you want to be served well, patronize every brand in the Safari group. If you need Safari Hypermart, Safari Pharmacy, Safari Hive, which other one that you can patronize to see what she's talked about in reality. All right, I'm going to end here because it's already 9 p.m. and I want Madam Nika to go take a rest. I'm sure she's back at work tomorrow. Everybody, thank you for joining. My name
Thank
is
you.
Shegu Manuel.
Thank you for
Thank
having
you.
me.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
so much. Have a good night, ma. Have a good night, everyone. I love
You
you
too.
all. See you next week, Wednesday, with another fantastic guest. By the way, my guest next Wednesday is coming all the way from Ghana. I'm going international tomorrow. No, we've gone international before now. We did London last week. We're doing Ghana next week. We want to go Aquaba, right? Let's go to Aquaba next week. All right. So see you guys next week, Wednesday, same time. My guest from Ghana will be joining us. You see all the details. Thank you, Madam Nike. Have a good night. God bless you. Bye bye.
You too. Thank you. Bye.